Okay, so without further ado, let's have our speaker, Valarie Fields. She's going to come up, and this is part of her visionary communicator path, and it's called Every Goodbye Ain't Gone. Valarie.
Okay.
Wait, sir, I meant to ask something.
Yes,
How
sir.
long? 5 to 7?
5 to 7.
Okay, so I'll do the green.
Whatever she
I'll do the
wants.
green. I know. I know.
32 and a half.
Yeah.
My final projects. You ready? I'm going to come out and figure. Because our stoplight is really complicated.
No, just, okay, go.
Okay. When you guys think about leaving a relationship, the last time you left somewhere, relationship, situation, whatever, what were the emotions you had? Just thoughts. Sadness? Excitement?
Anxiety.
Emptiness, anxiety? Okay. So, and I'll tell you, and I don't know how many people are on my Facebook, but one of the big things I said this morning on Facebook was there was a job I left 5 years ago, and it was like a huge family. And so when I left, I'm taking pictures of the sign as I'm driving out the gate, and I'm like taking pictures of the tree outside, like I'm leaving my family. It was a mess. That was horrible. Then when I got ready to come here, the whole week leading up to my final day, there were videos of the Temptations dancing out the door. There was a girl making her nose do a hula dance. I was like ready. I was so happy to be walking out the door. And I think that's the thing. Sometimes you say goodbye and you're like, yo, I'm out. Other times it's like, God, it's time to say goodbye. I don't know if I can do that. How do I do that? With that in mind, there was a conversation I had with my daughter. I guess now, it was in July. I just pulled up because I wrote something. And that was in July. So I thought I would share it with you guys. Some of you guys heard it before, last speech. But it says, she called with tears in her voice. Mommy, she whispered, Mommy, I dreamt you died and you were happy. I smiled to myself as I reassured her. I've lived such an amazing journey. If today was my last day, I had no reason to complain. But she didn't want to hear that. She wanted me to be as shocked and appalled as she was that she had to send me my favorite sweets by drone. She saw futility and loss, but even in that moment, I saw the sweet love in that dreamt gesture. And my spirit was happy and at peace. Then a stranger from my past resurfaced. She took my hand from across the table. Goosebumps decorated her arms as she whispered with a conviction more powerful than any scream, embrace your gift. She dropped my hand and I caught my breath. A whole new world of questions exploded within me, bombarded me, laid my soul bare. Have I finished living this life or merely that life? Is this one of those miraculous seasons of change that redefines the very essence of me? Is it time to walk away from who I once was, even who I was yesterday or this morning? My soul rests calmly smiling as I work through this puzzle. The joy of the question itself is nearly eclipsing the actual answer. What does tomorrow hold for me? Or is it me that holds tomorrow? So many questions. Every moment living the way into my fullest understanding. Still learning, still laughing, still loving, and continually living. I wrote those words after my daughter's call and after talking to my friend. All of that happened and I was trying to figure out what that meant for my life and where I was and what transitions, what was ending, what was starting. And then I thought about this conversation I used to have with kids about driving in the car. And when I was little, my dad would go on these road trips and he always was like, look at the trees, look at the mountains. And I'm like 8 and I'm like, it's a tree, Daddy. It's another tree. He said, no, look at that. And I'm like, dude, really? This is 8 hours of you saying, look at the tree. Look at... So I would stare out the back window. Because I really wanted him to understand I was very unhappy about being in this stupid car for 8 hours. So I'm sitting there staring out the back window, and you would pass something. And it might be the McDonald's. And I'd be like, oh, can we go to McDonald's? He's like, I already passed the exit. I was like, okay, fine. But dumb me keeps looking out the back window. There's a Baskin Robbins. Can we go to the Baskin Robbins? They bow. That was 2 exits ago. And that's what we do a lot of times in life when we have to say goodbye. We spend so much time looking in the back window, looking at what has already happened, that by the time we realize there's something else that we could have done, we already drove past it. We already passed it because we were so focused on what was behind us that every opportunity ends up back there where we're looking because we're not looking ahead of us. And that's the choice that we make when we say goodbyes. We choose whether we're going to look at what's ahead and embrace that change, or whether we're going to get lost in the memories, whether we're going to be lost in the tabula rasa of where we started. That completely clean slate of back before I had any life, back before I had any experiences and screw-ups and all of that. But if I was at that state, I wouldn't be here, right? So my grandmother used to always say, every goodbye ain't gone. She also used to say, every shut eye ain't sleep. And I didn't know what that meant. But it means that life circles around. And when you say goodbye, people don't have to be forever gone. They don't have to be people you're never going to see again. Even if you never see them again, they don't have to be gone. How many times do you hear the voice of someone who's not there anymore in your head, making a dumb joke, or reminding you of a bad decision, or just be like, are you really going to do that? Are you going to wear that today? Because I don't know about y'all, but my best friend has lots to say still. And my favorite, y'all have heard this in speeches, is she used to say when she was dating, she called me once, she's like, girl, he kissed me and my clothes fell off. Every time I go on a date, I hear her voice say, I'm like, I'm not going to be you today. You know? But that's the choice. Even though she's not there, I get to decide, am I going to embrace those fun moments and bring her with me? Am I going to get lost in all the things that were back there that we don't have anymore? The other thing that's always stuck with me is my grandmother said that every single beginning starts with an end. Whether it's life that starts with the end of a pregnancy, whether it's a whole new world that we don't know that starts with the end of a human life. There is no beginning you get to that comes without an ending to something else. So every time you start something, something has to end. And we can celebrate in that ending, or we can get caught up in it. And I know you keep hearing this theme, it's that choice. How are we going to move forward from those endings? How are we going to embrace those new beginnings? And I'll tell you, I think last time we talked, I mentioned my godson, who was killed in June. Yesterday, 2 calls, 2 deaths. It's not, and I'm learning as I get older, and as we all get older, people told me once, you know you're getting old, when all of your idols start dying. So like when Prince and Michael Jackson died, it was like, dude, what is happening right now? And my mother was like, yeah, you're getting old. That's what's happening, Valarie. This is how I felt when Elvis died. But that's what's happening. As we get older, more people are going to exit. And again, we have that choice. Am I going to celebrate? Or am I going to get lost in what I've missed or what is no longer going to happen? So as I prepare to move on from NRECA, I choose to celebrate it. I have made amazing, amazing friends. I have experienced Toastmasters for the very first time in my life, and it is now a very integral part of my life. Each of you are an integral part of my life. And everybody got an email this morning with LinkedIn and phone numbers and all that stuff, so you know where to find them. So instead of singing like one of those sad songs that people sing at the end, I'm going to choose to go with my happy goodbye song. Y'all remember which one it is? Well, you have to sing it with me if I have to do one. All right. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Come on. Hey, hey, hey. Y'all suck. Goodbye. You gotta come on. Na na na. Na 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 na. Hey, hey, hey. Goodbye. Thank you. And it's happy hour tonight.